Well, a lot has happened with this car since the last time we was on this page, so let me inform you on what's actually happened. So, the last time we looked at this car, we said that the alternator needed doing as well as the air suspensions, but apparently the car likes to fix itself and now the alternator no longer needs doing. It's a long story, let me just walk you through it. So on the first video we said that the alternator needed doing, and basically what that was because when I plugged my diagnostic tool into it, you could see that the battery wasn't charging. It was at 12 volts and it came down to 10, 9, 8 and it wasn't charging, and I also had the red battery light on the dash. Now since then I've plugged in the diagnostic machine again the other day off camera, and weirdly enough the red battery light completely went nothing, and on the diagnostic machine it said it was actually charging. It even went up to about 14.9, 15 volts and it was charging itself. Now let me show you exactly why I was messing around on the car when I wasn't filming it, and I shouldn't have done, but let me show you exactly why. Now this is why I was messing around with the car when I wasn't recording, and as you can see it's a new compressor. Possibly not the one for this car, but it does all fit. Everything's connected, all the airlines are also connected as well, plugs are connected, everything is connected. It even sits on the holes where the old one was. Now how did I get a compressor for this car? Now I didn't actually pay for it. My mate Mark, big up Mark, moaned at me last time for not shouting him out. He's actually bought one of these in white, 1 year older. However, it had a spare compressor on the back seat, which I asked him if he wanted it, said he didn't, so I nicked it off him. Now this is the compressor that was in the car before I got that one off my mate Mark. Now it's in pieces, don't get me wrong, however this to me looks, I'll tell you why it's in pieces in a second, but this to me looks new. And the reason I think it's new is because when you buy a compressor online you do also get a new relay. Now the relay was sat on top of the cover that normally goes on top of the boot, and this was all in one piece. Now you probably recognise the differences between the two, and as you can see they are a lot different. They are not the same, they are completely different, and I'll tell you exactly why that is. Well, not exactly why, but why I think that is. Now with these compressors there's two kinds for the L322 Range Rover, this being one of them, and then the one that's in the car now being another version. Now I know many people are going to probably say that I'm incorrect in saying this, and I probably am to be fair, but I'm led to believe this is more of a Hitachi style pump, compressor pump, and this one is the upgraded AMK one, I'm led to believe. And the difference between those is because these Hitachi style ones are known for failing on the L322s, and a lot of people bought these to try and upgrade them so that they didn't fail as often as the Hitachi ones did. However, with having the newer ones you also needed different airlines. Now I found this one actually in the car, along with the relay, which is what led me to believe that this was a new compressor that the old owner had put in. Because on the AMK compressors, which is what I've just put in the car, I'm led to believe that they're actually not the same as these compressors, the Hitachi style ones, because the Hitachi style ones, as you can see on these, have like little bolts. I don't know if you can see that, but they have like little bolts that you screw in. Now on the AMK one, which is the one that I've got in fact I'll show you, these are push fit ones, and I don't know if you can see that, but they are push fit, so you push them in and they just lock. They don't screw in, they screw into the actual little module where it feeds off into the other airlines, but in these they just push in, so they are completely different. And from what I was told, when you put one of these in, if it's not being done beforehand, it actually needs mapping to the ECU reprogramming, otherwise it'll just brick it. So you're probably going to be asking me, why did I even put it in if it's completely different to the one that was in the car, and if it hasn't been put in before it needs reprogrammed to the ECU? Well, I couldn't just not try putting in a compressor that I had for free, you know what I mean? It was on my lap, I had it, didn't cost me a penny. The best thing I could have done is try, which I have done, and it all fits. The plugs fit, the airlines fit. It's almost like it was made to be in there, And the reason why I put it in as well on that is because this is my logic, right? This is my logic. Stay with me. This is my logic, right? So the air suspension was down when we got the car. So the car broke on the previous owner because of the air suspension, right? We got it, well, I got it with this in it, yeah? Which to me looks brand new. You tell me that this does not look like a brand new compressor. And if you say no, then you're lying, right? With a relay sat on top of the boot with an airline. Now to me, that looks like the previous owner has tried to buy a new compressor, right? But it still didn't work. So what if this one is the original style, but this car got converted and he wasn't aware, so he put this one in, when in reality it should have been the new AMK version, which he wasn't aware of, and that's what I've put back in. Do you see where I'm going with this? But anyway, now I've taken you on about 6 different tangents to what I originally said on what was going on with the battery. Anyway, I plugged in my diagnostic scanner and this happened. Now as you can see, it actually charged itself, which it didn't before. It even had a red light on the dash to say that the battery was either at fault or the alternator was at fault. But as you can see, it is now charging. So somehow, changing a compressor, the one I've just shown you, managed to get the alternator to charge again. Weird, I know, but it's one less job that I have to do. It's probably something sinister, to be honest with you, that no doubt someone's going to comment saying, oh, it shouldn't be like that. Please do, because I'd love to learn. Like I say, I'm not claiming I know everything. I'm just learning. And I'm learning as I go. So if you see anything that I'm doing with this car that's wrong, or that you think I should do differently, then please do let me know, because I'd love to learn, and I'd love to be able to change things and obviously work with the people that are in the comments. So as I say, I'm not going to address the alternator now, because to me it looks like it's charging now and it works. So what I am going to start doing though is the following. Now when we first got this car, the battery wasn't working and I did replace the 400 amp mega fuse. But what I do want to do is I want to get this open and test all the fuses inside of that. I also want to test all the fuses which are down the back of here. I don't know if I can get the camera down to show you that well. I don't know if you can see that, because I can't see what my camera's seeing. So if you can't see that, then rolled. But I want to check all the fuses in there, and I also want to check all the fuses in there, and I also want to check all the fuses which are in the passenger side glove box to make sure that none's burst, and going forward we know all the fuses are bang on. Now this is how I'm going to do that. I've got myself a multimeter which is set to the continuity setting, which will, once touched, let off a signal like that. I'm trying to do it with one hand, but as you can hear, it lets off a signal, and basically what that does is it means that if a fuse is broken, it won't beep. But if both of these touch each other, for example the fuse isn't broken and then there's a full circuit, it'll make that noise, and I know that if once I hear that noise, then the fuse will be good and I don't have to look at that fuse ever again. Now we've got this box off, well the lid of the box off anyway, which then shows us this fuse board here. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to test all these fuses down this back row, and then these two here, as well as these two larger fuses. I don't think there's any more inside of here, to be honest with you, none that I can see. So I'm going to test these ones and then we'll see if any of these are gone. Right, so I've got the multimeter on, and I've also got it onto the little setting where it'll basically beep if there's any continuity. So I'm just going to test these. That one's good, that one's good, good. I mean, we're off to a great start. So far so good. Oh, that one's good as well. Now I don't think any of these are actually going to be an issue, because a lot of these don't really have anything to do with the air suspension, but I want to test them all just so that it gets rid of the, oh cheers, lovely, seagulls propagating it, flipping M&M. Anyway, they're all good. Oh, no, that one's all good, got me hopes up then. And then that one's all good. So all of these seem to be all good. Now, I don't know if you can see this, but I'm actually sat on the floor like an absolute child. But that is basically what covers the fuse box in the glove box. And it tells you everything on there, if I can get it in camera. No, No, there, that'll do. Basically tells you everything that's on it. Now, I'm only going to test the ones which are to do with the air suspension. So we've got fuse number 7. I don't know if you can see that. Fuse number 7. So I'm going to go ahead and test fuse number 7 and see if that is all good. And if it is, then again that's another one to wipe off. So if you can actually see what I'm doing, fuse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So hopefully we hear a beep. So fuse number 7's good. What other fuse have we got? So we've got, actually see me down there? Yeah, you can, flipping on. So we've got fuse number 7, which was air suspension. Then we've also got fuse number, what other fuse have we got? Fuse number 57. So I don't know if you can see that. Let's show you that one as well. So fuse number 57, just there. So we're going to try that one. So fuse 57 is 4 in from the right on the bottom row. So 1, 2, 3. Oh my god! Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fuse 57. It's supposed to be a 20 amp, and it doesn't even exist. Right. So if I can show you. So as you can see on this right hand side just here, fuse 57, which is a 20 amp fuse, it's supposed to be for the air suspension, so it's 4 in from the right hand side on the bottom row. As you can see, if I can get the camera in, right there, number 4 in from the right hand side on the bottom row does not exist, and it's supposed to be a 20 amp. So maybe that is why the air suspension is mashed, because fuse number, where was it? Fuse number 7, which is there, was perfectly fine. However, fuse 57 doesn't even exist. Now, before we go putting that fuse in, I do want to test these fuses here on the backboard, this bottom row, and also have a look at this relay, because this relay is actually, as you can see down here, to do with the air suspension. So I'm going to have a look at these fuses, test these like I just have done, and see if these are also coming back okay. Right, so you can see the fuses, again, got the multimeter, going to use the exact same settings, should hopefully all beep. That was good, that was good, that was good, so far so good, so good. So far so good. I mean, I kind of want one of these to at least go off, so it's not as easy as just like that one fuse, because if it were just that one fuse, which I doubt it is, because nothing's ever that easy for me, it would be nice though. Oh no, got me excited again. And then that one's fine. Now I'm just going to check these to see if there's any other air suspension fuses which are missing, which it doesn't look like it. Fuse 22, which is the top one, which is a 60 amp, which is this one, and that one's good. We've just tested that. Just going to double check it just to make sure again. No, that one's fine. So all these fuses are bang on. Right, so we're back at the front where that missing fuse is, 4th in from the right hand side, and we do have a 20 amp fuse, which, as you can see, I don't know if you can see that, maybe try and get it up against the black background so that you can see, if you'll focus, that that is not broken. It's a brand new fuse, 20 amp fuse. So I'm going to go ahead and stick that, if you can see, into the 20 amp fuse hole. As you can see, that is now in and where it's supposed to be. Number 4 in from the right hand side was missing, now it's not. So I'm going to put the battery back on now and see if anything changes. Right, so we're going to come and reconnect this battery back up. A little bit of spark, no one hurt a soul, and then we're going to get this back on. Don't know why I have to make that look so difficult. There we go. Oh, come on. Because no one else wanted a loose battery terminal, so that's now on snug. Both battery terminals are on. I'm going to jump in the front, and let's hopefully something's changed with this air suspension. Now apparently with these Range Rovers all the doors need to be shut, so I've made sure that all the doors are shut. Just going to go shut the bonnet, make sure that's shut, That's now shut, and then we can jump in the side, and then hopefully we can get something working on this car. Right, so we're in the car and I've got the key. Now I have got this door open before I put this in, because this steering wheel has a tendency to just drop, which it hasn't done. Oh, don't want to start all of a sudden. There we go, it starts perfectly fine now. But it does say still, and if you can see that it's got a suspension fault. So apparently, and as you can see on here, nothing's really changed. Terrain response faulty, system faulty, and then also down here, these aren't working either. Yeah, it's not liking that at all. As you can see, it's still not liking it. Now, as I mentioned though, that battery light has gone. There is no longer a battery light, and apart from obviously the parking brake and the seatbelt, which are going to be on, there are no other lights on the dash. This, however, is a little bit worrying me. I mean, that doesn't look great at all. Obviously, that, I think all these little dashes are meant to be in line with that green line. So clearly, even though all the fuses are now in and the compressor's now on, it thinks that the wheels are completely different. I do just want to check though that all these work, so I'm just going to put my foot on the brake and try and put it into low on the diff mode. Should be able to see that. Select neutral for range change. So put it into neutral and then down for low. Yep, that works. And then up again. Yep, so that's now back into high. I'm just going to put that back into park. As you can see, that's back in. But every time I press or switch special functions, it does not like it. It's got a terrain response system faulty, and it does also pop up on the dash. I'll see if I can get it when this has disappeared. It says special programs off, and then if I turn it in a second, it doesn't show you on there, but it does on here. It says terrain response system faulty, and then in a second there you go, special programs are off. So I need to probably get the diagnostic scanner and get it plugged in and see what faults we're getting on the scanner now. Right, so we've got the diagnostic scanner and we've got the key, so I'm going to put the key back in the ignition and turn it to second one, and then go to intelligent diagnostics, and then get it to scan the VIN, and then once it's scanned this, we'll get back into doing the actual scan. So the vehicle configuration is now being loaded. It will look a little bit weird on the screen because screen to screen thing, it makes it look all fuzzy. I'm going to do a smart scan, and then we're just going to scan all the CAN lines and see what faults we're getting. And so far, it's not looking good. It's not looking good. So once this is fully scanned, I'm going to come back and I'll show you exactly what it's come back with. Right, so it's finished scanning, but one thing I do want to show you, and this is what I was on about with the battery. So this is what I was on about when I said I can see the battery voltage on my diagnostic scanner and what it's at. And as you can see, it's currently at 12.36 volts. But if I start the car, bear with me a sec, you'll see in a second it does start charging. So if I'm just going to clear these DTCs, because obviously we're not interested about the ones that are currently on there. We want to run it again and see what comes back. I did hear the compressor then, and as you can see, the voltage is charging itself. So I was right, it is charging itself, and I did hear the compressor in the back. I don't know if you heard that. I'm hoping you heard that on the mic, because if you heard that, I am going to be extremely gassed. Not even joking. Right, so we've got no fault codes on there at all now, which is rather weird. Do these work now? No, so it's still faulty, and I don't know if I can press that. No, so that still won't go up. That still won't go up. But what I do want to try and do is in common special functions. I'm led to believe, I have done this before, I'm not just a complete bot, you know what I mean. I do want to try and manually turn on the what's it called, compressor. So bear with me a second, let me just have a look and see which one I need to go in to get that, then I'll come back to you. Right, so I've just gone into the suspension system is air suspension inflation. It's come up with this little message. So it says the routine places the ride height level module into normal operation, which will enable the suspension to be inflated. Be aware that the suspension height will change during this routine. So I'm going to press OK. Start the engine. Engine's currently started. OK. Switch on the hazard lamps and close all doors. So hazard lamps are on, as you can see. I'm just going to open this door and make sure it's closed. That's now closed. Press OK. Communicating. Press the suspension raise switch once. The suspension will now raise to the normal operating height. This could take up to 3 minutes to complete. The engine must remain running and the doors closed once the switch has been pressed. The suspension up arrow will remain illuminated during operation. So let's fingers crossed this works. Which it doesn't. Yeah, it's not working, Rev. It's not working. The instrument cluster message center will display the status of the routine once the suspension has been reinflated to the correct height and suspension up arrow extinguished. The routine is complete. Well, it's not gone up, I'm afraid. So I'm just going to press OK. Suspension successfully inflated. There you go, can you hear that? See, it started. Position 2. So it's now on 2, OK. Position 0. OK. OK. Say I don't know if you heard that, but the compressor did actually kick in. So I'm now going to come out of this. I'm going to smart scan again and see if it comes back with any more. See, now it's coming back with just the DTCs that we want, because beforehand we don't know how long the other codes had been there for. These are the ones which are really going to matter. Right, so these are the codes that we're now interested in, because I've cleared them and now they've come back again after that. So what we've got ride level control module, we've got front left height sensor mechanism and the rear right height sensor mechanism. So it's front left and rear right. That doesn't make sense, but they are both permanent faults. What else have we got? So all terrain control module, invalid data. These are all intermittent apart from that bottom one. That's an invalid data received from the ride level control module. So that's module. So this one, lost communication with remote drive. We're not bothered about that one just yet. Again, invalid data received from ride level control module, permanent. TCCM, lost communication with ride level control module again. TMC, not bothered about that one. Not bothered about that one. Or that one. And then that one there is just key transponder. So what I'm seeing is 2 height sensors, so front left and rear right. And invalid data received from the ride level control module. So I'm wondering maybe if I have to go round and measure all 4 corners and then tell the car what it's at to try and fix this, because this obviously doesn't know what it's at, so the car doesn't know where it's at. So what if I was to go around, measure it all, and then input it into the car and then see if it's happy then? Because if it's saying that there's faults with the mechanisms, yes, that could mean that there is something faulty with the sensors. But if it's off balance, I mean, it's worth a try. It's worth a try. I mean, like I said, I'm still learning, so it's worth a try. But I think that's what I'm probably going to do next, and that's measure all 4 corners with a tape measure and then input them onto this so that the car knows where it's currently sat and then where it needs to be sat. So I'm going to go ahead and do all that. You have to bear with me, and then once we've done that, we'll come back to here and then we'll go through all this again. Now, I've just come to take the diagnostic scanner out, and it's actually come up with this message, and it says, caution, terrain response system is not functional. On-road and off-road performance may be affected depending on the cause of failure. Now, that never came up before. It was just a different screen, which is interesting. So it's now not kicking up the screen that it did last time, but it's coming up with a system faulty. So I think we're actually getting somewhere, but never mind. Let me just go around and do all the measurements, and then we'll come back, like I said. Right, so I've done the measurements, and as you can see, the rear and front are meant to, well, the front's meant to be 493mm and the rear's meant to be 483mm. This car is only currently 150 on the front and 140 on the rear. However, it is on stones, so ideally I need to redo this again on concrete, which at the minute I can't do because I have other cars on my driveway, and I have just tried to do it on the scanner, but again, it is also telling me again that it needs to be done with no one in the car, windows open and on a flat area. So again, I can't really do that at the minute, so that will have to be in another video. What I am seeing though is that we are coming to like a kind of a wall where I think, for me personally, I'm going to need to have a look at some other things online, look at some comments, maybe do a video on for the TikTok and stuff like that, and see if anyone else understands what's going on here, because as I say, I'm still learning. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to call an end to this video, do a little bit of research, and then probably pick up again maybe another day, because as you can see as well, it is also raining, so there's not much more I can do outside of the car, unfortunately, for today. So if you have enjoyed this video, then please make sure you are subscribing, you are following along, liking the videos, supporting. I do appreciate all the support that you guys give me. I know I'm only a small page at the minute, but I am trying to put in that effort. And as I say, I am still learning, so any issues that I'm doing, anything you see that I'm not doing right, then drop it down below and I will read it. Again, if you know anything that's going on with this car, if there's something that you think I haven't checked, or you think there's something that I need to check, again, drop it down and I will be reading it, because any help on this car would be much appreciated. So yeah, we're going to leave this video here today, pick up again another day, because it is raining, I'm running out of time, and I just wanted to try and get something recorded and show you that I am still progressing with this car and it's not being left. So yeah, if you did enjoy this video, make sure you're subscribing, following the social medias, and making sure you're sticking around for the next video. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.